live. We clear on
We're
your end?
live. Yeah, it's good on my end, man.
Ladies, gentlemen, and foodies of all ages, I am the Meat Viking. My co-host.
Dr. Chef Hubs, man, aka also Professor Pork-Loin.
That's right.
So,
And today, for those of you who don't know us, there's a fun story in here about me being socially awkward as fuck on the internet. So we've been working, spitballing ideas, trying to get back and forth to each other about what we want our little slogan to be. And
well, no, not the slogan, right? It's the design.
exactly, the
Yeah,
design.
okay. The slogan we've already got, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it's booze, meats,
dessert.
desserts, and sweets, like or
Yeah,
smoke and meat. Sorry, but we got all
okay.
that.
Right. And so essentially, not even like a mutual friend. This is like somebody I've met one time. She's friend of the wife, and it's her friend
So the
is
friend of a friend.
friend of a friend of my wife. So not even like I wouldn't call this person to pick me out of jail, if I've been out drinking too late. Like that, so it's pretty far removed. And I went and just straight didn't even like, hey, hi. I was just like, I heard you like to draw. How much for you to draw me a donut with a ball gag? And after probably 5 or 6 days later of just awkwardness, I was like, no, like for real, I'm willing to pay. I've seen your artwork. You're a friend of mine. Like, I'm working on this podcast and I need something that's going to be unique and show up. And, like once we got talking and stuff, she's like, oh, this isn't just some creeper on the internet. This is somebody who's actually willing to pay me. I was like, yeah. And you know what? I'm not even asking for feet pics. Just draw me something. And so within probably the next week or two, we're going to actually have some official artwork for us. And I'm super stoked about that.
So, so you were talking to this person, and she didn't think you were a creeper. Like after you started talking to her, like what did she say for that? Then what did she go after? You were like, "Look, I'll pay you. Just I need a donut with a ball gag in his mouth."
Well, I had been like texted said wife or friend. I was like, hey, I'm a little awkward. I think I might have fucked up my conversation with your friend by just being blatantly blunt about it. And I was like, this is what I mean. This is what I need. And she's like, oh, she had mentioned that, but she's actually out camping away for the weekend. And so she's like, yeah, you're not going to get back to her until like probably a Monday or a Sunday. And so had explained to the friend of what I wanted, and the friend just started busting up laughing about, yeah, like how often are you going to find a donut with a ball gag
Yeah.
and booze, desserts, sweets, and
Smoking
smoking
meats,
meats? And it's just
smoking
like,
meats, man.
I don't fucking know. It's what came to my mind.
Did they kind of like the option though? Did they like the idea of what we're doing here? I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think you
like they
think they'll
were
give
all
us a
for it.
listen?
Yeah, they would probably give us a listen. Um, I should probably give them the option, because I've already paid them for the artwork. They just got to get it done. I should probably be like, yo, last chance before I put this on the internet and give you credit. You might want to watch an episode. Because, we don't really have shit together
Right now.
right
Right
now.
now. But if we get our shit together,
You
then
might be proud of us. It's like every parent has that one kid that just draws really, really bad and they still put it on the fridge. It's like you can be our parent that puts us on the fridge.
but if we get our shit together, then it will be good for them. Be like,
Right,
look,
right.
I drew that stuff for them.
Yeah. You sure as
Uh,
shit did.
that's funny. Hey, well, at least the conversation went well, and then we knew that you found out that she was camping. You
Yeah.
know, instead of her just being like, "No, I'm not gonna
Block.
do that." Yeah,
Unfriend.
block.
I mean,
And then
maybe
you'd have to go
that's
to the wife and you'd have to be like, hey, I need you to talk to your friend who's a
yeah,
friend to find out what the hell happened with my
right.
drawing.
And you know what? Maybe I unlocked some hidden secret for single men out there. Maybe you just need to like, if you're under 6 feet in your Tinder profile, just randomly DM somebody, "Hey, I need you to draw me a picture of a donut and a ball gag." You might get a response.
I don't know if you're going to get a response on that one. Although, hell, you might.
You
You
might,
might.
you might.
You got to
I
shoot
mean,
your shot, man, right?
yeah. Well, shoot your shot, and like it's hard out there for us dudes under 6 feet.
So, what you got in your glass, man? What are you drinking?
Well, this morning I had a Black Russian.
Man, I haven't had one of those in a hot minute.
Yeah, I wanted to
What
do
made
a
you think
white
about
one.
just doing Black Russian?
Well, wanted to do a White Russian,
You
and
don't
then I
have any cream?
realized no creamer, no milk,
No cream.
and so I was like, I'll just do Kahlua and vodka. But now I did a cheap Tom Collins where I just put vodka, club soda, and some simple syrup and some machino cherries in here.
Well, let's go back to that freaking first drink, though, man. Because I haven't had a Black Russian in a long time. But the last time that I did raspberry vodka with the
Ooh.
Kahlua. And that was really good. And then we actually went and got creamer
Oh.
and or half and half and poured that in. So the raspberry vodka totally makes that drink. You know,
Hmm.
you should give that a try next time you do the whole liquor store run. Get yourself some raspberry vodka. It doesn't have to be crazy. You can just get Smirnoff. I mean, you can get a fifth of that for what, like $17 or something.
Well, you're right, but actually, I didn't do just plain vodka in this, and I forgot to mention that. I did the double chocolate vodka.
Oh, okay. That's an even different one. I haven't messed with that one in a while.
Yeah, dude, it was like
Any
drinking,
chocolate vodka.
it's almost like drinking a mocha, but with vodka.
Man, that sounds like a really good idea.
You know, I've been known to have them from time to time.
So that was your breakfast
That was my
drink,
breakfast.
right? That was the wake up and I'm gonna have my Sunday brunch drink.
Yep. And then now I want a Tom
That's pretty
Collins.
that's pretty good. I think I might have to try that sometime this week where I'm gonna maybe get some Kahlua. Actually, have you ever made your own Kahlua before?
I have not.
Oh, dude, you got to give that one a try too. It's super easy. I mean, you need a little bit of some vodka, but you brew your own coffee, like you do your own coffee in the morning, and
Mhm.
it really comes down to just mixing the coffee with the vodka. And there's some other, you got to have the coffee grounds and everything too. But you would probably like that if you can get yourself um, making your own Kahlua. You would probably enjoy that. And then you know what you could do? You could probably put some of that chocolate vodka in it and then go from there. But the next thing to that though too is doing the Bailey's, your own Irish cream.
Mhm.
You might like doing that one too. As long as you have a blender, you can basically just whip up the half and half, and it totally is easy. So I'm gonna have to. You know what? The next time we talk, I'm gonna come up with one of those. I think I might do the Bailey's because it'll be easier as a drink. But I'm gonna do that, and we'll be able to do a recipe. That's what I'll do next time, man. We'll come up with a recipe right there and show people how to do that super easy.
Band-aid
So, but
recipe.
Tom Collins, man, what do you
Yes.
got? What do you got now? So do a little bit of some vodka. You put some cherries in there. I saw.
I did two machino cherries. Um, one part vodka, one part club soda mix, and then I did like half an ounce of simple syrup with some
Okay.
cherries over the rocks. Most recipes will call for um, 2 parts club soda to 1 part vodka, but my glass was getting kind of full and I didn't want to waste alcohol like that, so did what I
Well,
had to.
yeah, you're supposed to put it in a Collins glass, man. It's supposed to be taller.
Yeah, but I'm a cheap bastard.
You could probably even put it in a pint glass if you wanted to.
Probably.
I mean, you fill that with ice, you got yourself 2-1. Yeah, man, you can make yourself a nice drink. So how does it taste? What kind of vodka do you use?
So there's this brand called New Amsterdam, and my wife loves their gin, but they also make vodka too.
I know. I used to have that at the bar when I was working. Um,
And that's what I'm using today.
it's it's a shame though because I'm not a big vodka person for myself. I mean, I like the rum, tequila. I've been getting into the bourbons lately, but the vodkas. They always said that it was that tasteless liquor, but I could always taste it for some odd reason.
Yeah.
And I knew that the New Amsterdam. I mean, it's not your high end vodka. You can get a fifth for what, like $15 or something. Like
Oh yeah.
it's not your high end. So, but I wouldn't expect you to have some high end Grey Goose or anything like that if you're gonna do just a Tom Collins.
Right. Like why would you put, Grey Goose in a Bloody Mary or like a mixed drink like that? You kind of want like your mid to bottom line stuff if you're just going to be mixing.
Well, yeah, I mean, same thing with tequila. Like, I'm not gonna put Don Julio or something in my margarita.
Oh no.
Like, I'm gonna put Cuervo because it's cheap, and you
Yeah.
know, you're gonna be mixing it with all the mixes anyway. You really can't taste the tequila. So, but you're gonna put that in a snifter or something or a shot glass and just slowly sip it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
You know,
yeah, the vodka just isn't for me, man. I'll drink it if it's the only thing there, but I'd prefer some spice or some other things available.
yeah. I'm in a similar boat to you, except I'm more branching out into the clear, like your gin and your vodkas now. But for the most part, it's just like, dude, I'll take a whiskey or a rum. It's what I would rather prefer, but in kind of an adventure to try new things, trying some classic cocktails with classic cocktail recipes.
Yeah, man, down here they've got a couple good gins that we've been getting into. I like the piney flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice G&T. Gin and tonic has always been the classic one for the hotter summers that we have down here in Texas. But
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, we G&T is still one of the ones that we go for. But I'm always going to go down for my rum and coke, my Captain or my spiced rum and coke. So
Now,
shout out to Captain Morgan. I mean, if you find out 100 episodes from now that you like this, please, I will be your spokesperson. I got the
mhm,
mustache and everything. I can flip it out and I can be captain. We're good.
yeah, you can. I've seen you strike that pose before. You'll be all right. Oh God.
So
Have you I think it's Deep Eddies is the brand and it's a vodka. Have you
I've
seen
had
that
them
down in
before.
Texas?
Yeah,
Yeah. We used to
yeah.
have
They've
a
got a
neighbor
few of those flavors.
that did the Deep Eddies and lemonade and for her summer drink.
Yep.
Yep. That was a good drink. Good time. No, I forgot something very important. We haven't found
What
our
do you
safe word
forget,
for
man?
today's episode. Here we are just practicing
Oh
unsafe
man,
like
here we
this.
are, like 20 minutes in, still haven't done it.
No, well, you know what? Sometimes you don't need that safe word until it's too late.
Well, then what's today's safe word, man?
Hmm. Let's see. Today's safe word is blue.
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 Ding 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 ding. All right,
Blue.
all you BDSM followers out there, freaking blue is the safe word for today, even though we're really late in doing it. So
Right. Well, I mean,
we got to
like,
know for next time, man.
yeah, well, like, I'm not the most organized individual in the world, and clearly I'm a little awkward by our opening story. So,
But you know what? This is feeling, man. This is going pretty good. So,
it
but we got to
is.
make sure that the next episode we got to say safe word right off the bat.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe what we should do is we should get like a fish bowl, like, those cheap ass beta fish bowls, and just each one of us cut up like,
a
I
bunch
don't
of
know,
words.
30 words and just like randomly scramble that bitch and then whoop. Today's safe word is shoelace.
Well, you know what? When you edit this, man, you should get to this point and you should just make the screen flash blue. Just do some crazy things, maybe some triangles floating around or whatever,
Yeah.
and then say safe word blue. Just like stop it. Just
Right.
stop the video, have it go like big letters blue, and then come back to us talking.
Oh, oh shit, that'll be
I
fun.
don't know if your editing software does that or if you can do that, but
It does. I'm just, and I essentially what happened was I downloaded one software and it worked. I kind of figured it out. But every time I would go to edit anything, just the whole thing would delete itself. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I downloaded another software and like within like 30 minutes of getting there, playing about, I figured out how to edit videos. And I was like, oh wow. And I Alex Jones myself. I'm like, wow. And just went on and edited most of the video, and that should be ready in about 2 to 3 weeks once we kind of get our little vibe check going and everything lined, and bam. I did
then because we're
probably.
already this will be episode 2. So I mean, are we gonna just do episode like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
I was thinking
uh, you
what I'll
know,
do is I'll do episode 1. Once we get all that stuff, that should be next week. So not today,
okay,
but next Sunday, right? Because that gives you time to review it. You can be like, hey, this is what we need. And
yeah,
then before we record Sunday, it'll get posted to YouTube, it'll get posted to our streaming services, and then the week after that, episode 2 will air,
okay, that's
and
cool.
then 3. Yeah.
I'm down with that, man. Yeah, that works.
So,
Sweet. So I wonder I wonder how much traction this will get because right now we're still just figuring shit out.
oh,
Episode 1 was interesting because we kind of had an idea of what we were talking about, but episode 2 right now feels pretty cool. We're just talking about booze and different types of booze and how it's playing out, and then we kind of go off on a little of the story, and then we're coming back. So
right.
it's ebb and flow.
Yeah, it's like we
But
almost did cocaine, like just fucking halfway across the U.S. I did a line, you did a line, and now we're just having a
oh gosh,
conversation.
no. Going back to booze though, so last night I decided to make some mead.
Ooh.
So mead, man, um, freaking oldest type of beverage. It's funny. So I did a little bit of some research on that, and I was looking to see how that kind of came out. And it was basically these people knew that honey was good, and that it's one of the easiest fermentable things that we have. So they basically would have these honey trees because apparently mead is known to be wild. And I say wild in the sense that there have been times where bees have set up shop in a tree,
Mm-hmm.
and then what will happen is the honey is in there, and let's say that the tree doesn't necessarily die but has cracks into it and it starts raining. Well, the water gets in there and mixes with that honey, and then there's the natural yeast. So the yeast is going to eat all that stuff up and produce alcohol, which
Blue.
I found was super cool. But anyway, just for the easiest thing, man, just water, yeast, and honey. But then as we kind of got more into finding about barley and whatnot, people started doing more beer, and then we started doing distillation, and then they started, getting liquor, where honey kind of fell off the wagon there because there were these other types of alcohol that were also made, and it was commercially made. So that's why you don't see too many meaderies around these days. They're starting to like blow up again, but it was interesting to hear about some of that history of how honey was the oldest thing. I mean, Egyptians knew about honey, like all these people knew about it, and they said, hey, we're going to mix it with water and drink it. But so I decided to do 2 different kinds.
Okay.
So
What kind did
I'm
you
going
do?
to do a chocolate one. I'm going to do a chocolate one that's bubbling right now. And the problem with this one is because of the bitterness of the chocolate, I've got to wait a stupid amount of time before I can even drink it and bottle it. Like it's going to be around a year before I can even take it out of the carboy because the bitter of the cocoa, it's got to mellow out and settle out. So next September, man, is when I can at least bottle it. And then I've got another like 3 months before I can even try it.
Wow.
So we'll see if this $60 investment is going to be good or not. But the other one that I'm going to start tomorrow, because I had to order vanilla beans, which is stupid, man. You can't even find any vanilla beans around here. Not even at Walmart, like not even at any of the local stores that I have. They're all gone. Or if there were, I wasn't going to pay $10 for two of them.
Hmm.
So we wound up getting some shipped to me. It was $14 for 10 of them, which that's worth it. But I'm going to do a bourbon vanilla or a vanilla bourbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take probably like 5 or 6 ounces worth of bourbon, and I'm going to throw about 5 of those vanilla beans in there and let them soak up and let them get real nice and flavorful. I'll make my mead, and then in the secondary, I'll just wind up dumping that whole thing in there. And I'm hoping to get a nice little vanilla flavor to it. That one's going to be a lot easier though. I don't have to wait freaking a year for that one. I could probably bottle that. Let's see. This week will be October. Probably by the end of October, I could probably set that into the secondary, and then by November, I can have that bottled. But
Damn.
but man, mead is super easy. You should get into doing it, man.
I've thought about it way before, like many, many moons ago, because I like honey, and it's a damn good drink for anyone who hasn't ever had mead. Super good drink.
Yeah, but you got to make sure that you get the right kind.
Yeah.
Because I've been to a couple meaderies already, and the one that I went to, straight up like nail polish remover, it tasted like, and
Really?
it did not taste good. But from what I've been reading and from what I understand, is that it's still technically green, is what it's called, is
Hmm.
where it still needs to mellow out because mead is usually like wine. The longer that you let it sit, the better it's going to taste.
Right.
And usually 6 months is when you can finally start opening bottles up. But man, the one that I went to, straight up, straight up nail polish remover. It was not good at all. But the other ones that I've been to, that one that I showed you pictures of with Freya's tears and whatnot,
Yeah.
dude, that tasted super cool. And the other thing that I like about mead too is that that stuff can get to like 13, 15, 18% if you get enough honey into it. So
Yeah. There's a couple of meaderies that I've had purchased mead from but haven't been through. And there's one that they do like a apple and cinnamon one with their,
yeah, that's
and it just tastes like super good apple pie. And another one I've actually been a fan of is a cranberry style mead. And that's like
okay.
nice, warm. It's almost kind of got like a red wine like bitterness to it, but also has that smooth honey taste. And I'll tell you, man, that shit. It's like a nice warm hug from a bottle of mead.
Man, right now I've got one of my friends gave me some honey from Ohio actually, and
Mhm.
the bees were close to an apple orchard,
Oh,
and man, the honey tastes like apples. It's super cool. And I asked my friend, I'm like, "Where did you get this from?" She said, "I think it came from the apple orchard that was by my parents' house." And so I didn't even do anything with it. I just, fermented it and threw it into some bottles. And I tasted it probably like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's only been in the bottle for maybe, I don't know, like 5 weeks, somewhere around there. So it's still pretty young. But just that small taste that I had, oh, dude, it tasted like an apple, almost like an apple pie. And it was apple and honey. It tasted so good. What I'd like to do is one of these days I'd like to get one of those bourbon barrels or even just any type of barrel and throw some of my meat into there and let that just barrel age so you can get some of that oaky, whatever flavor with it. Because I've been looking online about some of these meaderies, and there's one in Arizona, which is super cool. They come up with some really crazy stuff, but the guy had it in there, and it was like a chocolate raspberry or like a raspberry, oak flavor one. And he had it in these barrels, and he just took a little sip out of it, and I'm like, that's what I want to do.
that would be dope. How would you go about even procuring an oak barrel like that?
Oh, you can get them online. Um, you can get a 20-liter one, which is about 5 gallons for about $100.
Oh, that ain't too
Now,
bad.
if you want to get some real crazy, like the big ones that Jim Beam and Jack Daniels and all those other ones use, you're looking at like 1,000 plus. So I'm not making that much volume right now to
Not
where
yet.
I would need something like that. But the cool thing is that you can use it multiple times. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's not that it would be worth it if you're selling or if you're doing that type of mead. But right now, I've got probably about 40 gallons worth of mead in my house. I've
That-
got
That's a prepared household.
yeah, man. So if we ever get up that way, I'll bring some up. Or if you ever come down this way, you'll obviously be able to try it. But I've got a peach one.
Ooh.
So that one is sitting. I got to wait a lot longer for that one. I've got uh, habanero, no, a serrano. Um, what the heck is it? A mango serrano. That's what it is. So it's really sweet. You taste a little bit of the mango, but then it's got a little bit of the heat at the end. That one is delicious, man. It's not my favorite just because I don't do a whole lot of sweet, but the wife really likes the heat of it. So, um, and then let's see, I got the blueberry, I've got strawberry. The strawberry one is a nice red color, and it tastes like strawberries. So you got a little bit of the honeyness to it as well. I got that apple stuff. I have a pumpkin pie one that'll be ready for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this pear one because my boss had a pear tree and I just 15 pounds worth of pears and made that one. And then I've got the chocolate one and then the vanilla one. Those are my last two that need to be bottled. But yeah, I've probably got like 40 gallons worth of mead right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous. Like that right there mm, sounds damn good.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been making this stuff since February, I think.
Hmm.
No, October of last year. It was like October, September of last year. We've already drank all the other ones because I had um, a sparkling dry, a sparkling sweet, and then I had a sweet still and a dry still. So it was more like I had champagne, but then I had what was more like wine.
Damn.
So yeah, I've been making it since last year. I think it was September of last year is when I bought my first thing of honey.
Hmm.
So my next thing that I want to do, and this is going to be a while out because I don't really like paying the $60 for a gallon of mead or for a gallon of honey. I want to get bees so that I can make my own honey and then cut out that middleman.
Right. I'm gonna
The
say
problem is I just don't have the spot in my even my yard. I
right.
just don't have the space for that. So
Yeah.
unless I can find someone that can give me a small hive and make it small enough that I can manage it, I can't do a big one. But I've heard that they're super cool to get into.
I have
It takes
a
about like $800, but
yeah. I got a friend. She retired and now that's what she does for her hobby is she beekeeps and she sells all of her honey locally. So if you ever have any questions about it, you can just ask me and I can relay that information to her.
yeah, I get all my stuff local too
Yeah.
because it's nice to at least support. Or if I get rich enough, I would totally open up a meadery, and then I would just tell the apiary and say, look, I'm going to buy, you know, 20 gallons worth or 50 gallons worth. That way, it can kind of keep them in business, and then me in business, and it would work pretty cool ways. But
Yeah, and for sure, that's exactly what I would do. If not, have my own hive and outsource it. It's a couple of things that I would personally want to do. I want to get my own greenhouse. I want to get my own, like beehive. And hell, now that you've brought it up, that doesn't sound like a half bad idea. Is to eventually start some kind of a brewing business in the form of a meadery.
yeah, I would do the meadery. It's a little bit easier when you're talking about the making of it. Like, so from what I've researched is that there's three different camps of what you think about making mead. The first camp is you just take your honey, you just mix it with water, and then let the yeast do their thing. You don't do anything to it. Traditional mead.
Mm-hmm.
So you get all the floral, you get all that aroma from the honey, and that's the first camp. And a lot of people believe that this is the traditional, the old school way of doing it. The second one is to bring your water up to about 160 degrees, because that usually kills all the stuff. And then you pour your honey in there, and then dissolve it into the water. And it's also good because uh, it helps kill any bacteria, anything like that. But you have to watch out because you lose some of that floral,
Mm-hmm.
that nose of the honey. Um, and then it could also be different with the tannins. You don't want it to go super high because then you're gonna, kill your stuff. But some people believe that this is the best way. And then the third way is almost brewing it like beer, where you just bring it up to a boil, and then you let it boil for an hour, and then cool it and do all that stuff. I did the second way, where I brought it up to that 160, and it came out okay. It was fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing the cold water, just regular, don't bring it up, nothing. And I've had way better results with that. So I've been doing that as my mead lately, is just letting the yeast do its thing and giving it the nutrients, and letting, sanitize everything so that I don't get any bacteria or whatnot. But man, that makes it so much easier. And I feel like you keep that floral note, you keep the honey, like it's more of that traditional way. So I would do more of a meadery, just because, one, you could probably charge a little bit more. You can make it, and you can also make it higher or lower if you want. If you want something that's lower ABV, just add more water, and then it will bring it down. Or if you want something that's higher ABV, add more honey, and that will bring your sugars up. Now there's obviously things in between there. You want to make sure you stabilize it and all that other stuff too. But you can have a wine if you'd like, or you can throw hops in it. And the cool thing is that there's so many different ways of making mead. Like, you can have just a regular traditional mead. You can have the mellow mel. You can have a sizer, which is adding apple cider. You can have anything that you throw in it is going to change that traditional side of the mead. So you'd probably be able to make a little bit more money, and it'd be a little bit easier that way too. Because beer takes a while too. But adding in the hops at 10 minutes in, so that it helps with the bitterness, and then you got to let it boil for the hour. And I like the beer, but I like the process of the mead better.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of quick, easy, and lazy as possible. And option one sounds like the way I would like to go.
Again, you still have to sanitize, and you still have to do everything the way that it is, but it's, yeah, a lot easier on the time frame when
Mhm.
you're just stirring it all up. And yeah, maybe one day, if I'm rich enough, or if I can get enough money to say, hey, let's open up, because the liquor control board down here, you've got to have so much stuff ready before you can even sell it.
Really?
Like, you have to show them your plans of, here's my stuff, this is where everything's going, here's my samples for you. And then they decide, okay, you're ready to open up. So if they say no, well, then you basically just wasted $500,000 building all this stuff up, and you can't do anything with it.
Oh no.
So
Hmm.
maybe, again, one day if I get rich enough.
You know, when I if I do ever grow a greenhouse, one thing I'd like to grow is my own tobacco. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it. It's just something that I want to do. I consume tobacco in various ways, and so figure give it a shot. And if it's for personal use, I don't see why there'd be anything against it. But
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the same thing with alcohol, though. You're allowed to brew your own beer or make your own wine,
right,
and as long as you're not selling it, like, the government's not going to come down and say, "Hey, you can't do this." I think tobacco is the same way, where as long as you're doing it for your own personal consumption and you're not
right.
selling it, tobacco, they're just going to be like, "Okay, fine."
Mhm.
But you got a nice little backyard that you could put a little greenhouse in. So
Yep,
how
that's
much you think greenhouses run? Because you probably do what? Maybe like a 10 by 10 or something, or like a 10 by 15.
I'd like to do a 20 by 20.
Do you have enough room in your backyard? I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw your backyard.
It's a pretty big ass backyard, and that's less shit for me to mow around.
True.
So the bigger the better. Yeah. I could probably do a 20 by 20. Most likely.
All right.
If not, I could definitely do a 20 by 20 in the front yard. Fuck them.
Yeah, your front yard's pretty big too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how that would be on the resale value. What your neighbors think. What the hell is he putting a greenhouse in the front yard for?
Oh, hey, I'm going to run this as a business now. I'm going to sell people carrots for a living.
Hey man, you could be a farmer over there.
I could be. Could be.
Hit that local farmers market, be out there with your beard, having take my wares or show you my wares. Got
I'll
some
show,
carrots,
I'll show you my wares.
got some asparagus,
Each
whatever the hell
segment
else you
with
want to
one
throw in
beard
there.
hair. Just pluck one off for him.
I feel like you'd have to like braid it just
Probably.
to have it in there.
Oh, it's tucking in my shirt.
That's not a bad idea to do it. I mean, I wonder how much a greenhouse costs.
Let's see what the internet says.
Yeah, pull up the old internet, see what it says, man.
No, you know what? YouTube won't be my go-to for that. So 20 by 20 greenhouse. So a 20 by 10 is a various price. Here's a 26 by 10 with a walk-in tunnel greenhouse for $250.
Dude, that's super cheap. I was expecting it to be like 1,000.
It looks like the sides and stuff are made of plastic, so it's not made out of windows.
Not the glass, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you need glass? Because I've seen some greenhouses before that don't have glass. You know, they just got the dome on the top.
Right.
It really is the temperature in the middle. You know, it's really like keeping it at the 90 degrees or whatever you're doing at it.
Yeah. Because it looks like if I were to go glass for a 6 by 8, I'm looking at around $500 to $600. So yeah, I would definitely just go for the
plastic.
plastic, especially if I'm just doing it for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I find it interesting that all hobbies like that, you can start out small, start out with $200, do yourself that 26 by 10, and then if you really enjoy it, you really start getting into it, you can spend more money into it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think about when I started brewing beer. I mean, I got one of those little 2-gallon kits. It was like $80. You got, 12 1-liter bottles. You got your little jug. It came with a recipe. And then over the years, I've just been building up and buying stuff here, buying stuff there, and getting more fermenters and bigger pots and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the only hobby I know that I have that has a pretty high cost to entry is miniature painting. Because you have to buy your box of minis, you got to buy your paints. Chances are you're going to need some tools, some glue, and just shit gets expensive. So I think my first set I got came with the starts of 2 different armies for like 120 to 160 bucks. I bought some paints. Okay. That was about an extra 20 bucks. And then I needed to buy some clippers and some glues. So I'm looking at around $200 to just sit at my desk, put little plastic pieces together and paint them. I'll tell you what, though, I love the hobby. Just come home, sit down, maybe have a drink, throw on a podcast, throw on an audiobook, and just shut up and color.
Put your head down in color.
Yeah. Oh,
That's funny.
yeah.
Well, you want to talk about that flat iron steak that you made too, or what? God.
That's why I'm like, hold on before I get into my flat iron steak. And we're back.
So we're back. We have anything else that we're chatting about, or
Not today, man. I think
I
that
mean, we kind of went off onto that hobby thing, but what I don't know. Going back to the Mead stuff, like I said, you'll have to you got a cat in the face.
this is cheese.
Yeah, there you go. Play on other people's love of cats.
One like, please. One like.
So, but yeah, man, if you get a chance, one of these days, you should just see what type of honey you guys got up there. Find a local farmer's market, or even find an apiary. See if I'm sure that they probably got some outside the city there.
Mm-hmm.
And then look to see what you can get. Because I know that there's a brewing place. Crap, I can't even remember where the hell it is now. I'd have to.
Masters?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Aren't they off of
They're downtown somewhere.
Yeah, where were they? They're not downtown though. They're over by the casino. Like they're close to by East Toledo.
Oh, off of like Westgate or Westway, I think.
Yeah, let's see what it's called. Yeah, Western. So it's Teague-Myers, and they're off of Western Ave.
Nice. Y'all have to check them out to get me another hobby I'm into.
Yeah, then the cool thing about that though is that you get to drink it.
Right.
But I mean, for $100, you could probably start yourself out with everything that you would need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they actually have kits that you can buy that has the pot, the kettle, like all of that stuff, and your fermenter and whatnot. So it might be like $120, but even then,
Right.
it would still be, you can use all of that multiple times. So for the amount of times I've made mead, I mean, my fermenters, I've got like 5 of them now. I've got a couple 5-gallon ones. I've got 2 6-gallon, and then I got 2 7.5-gallon ones. So, I mean, all you do is just let it sit. And again, just make sure that you sanitize the crap out of everything. But
Well, hell yeah, bud.
so, all right, man. Well, I think this kind of calls for the end of episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
Miscommunication and Mead, because we did not have to use the safe word today, thankfully.
We did.
Although I felt like you did.
Yep.
You got them bubble guts.
Well, that, and I had an ambulance driving by, so I said it in the middle of one of your stories, and I had to close a window.
I thought I saw you get up and do that.
Yep.
But you got to make sure to be more vocal with it, man. You got to be like, blue, so I can hear it. Because if you don't hear it, how's the person not going to know, man?
Oh, shit.
But, all right, well, Dr. Chef Hub signing off, man.
The Meat Viking signing off. Hope you all enjoyed episode 2.